Hello everybody and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be going over the Pokémon Presents. Today, August 8th, 2023, kind of summarize the information that was within it. So if there's something you don't want to be spoiled on, this might not be the video for you. But if you're all in on the information, then continue watching. We'll start off with news about the World Championships this year, which is this coming weekend in Yokohama, Japan. During this segment, they showed off a special TCG anime, which is going to be about a little girl who moves to a new town and then finds community in a Pokemon club at her school. Looks like it's going to be pretty cute. And then also it showed off the merchandise and like the promotional Pokemon card and all the cool stuff people who actually go to the championships get. They showed off like the Pokemon Center there. There's going to be like a cruise ship people can go hang out on, all sorts of cool stuff. I won't be there, so sad. The next thing they talked about was Detective Pikachu Returns, which is the second installment in the Detective Pikachu series of games. They did announce that this game will be coming out October 6th. And they showed off some features like being able to partner up with Pokemon like Growlithe and Galarian Darmanitan to solve mysteries. And they said something big is happening in Rhyme City, but they didn't really say what exactly that is. So there's a big mystery coming, and you're going to be able to solve it. This game will be on the Nintendo Switch, unlike the first game, which was on the 3DS. They then talked about Pokemon Horizons, which is the next installment of the anime. The anime has episodes out in Japan, so you could technically start watching it in Japanese with subtitles, but the English version is coming out soon. There are two main characters for this show. Liko, who is this girl right here, who has the ash hair clip. She has a mysterious pendant, and she has a Sprigatito as her partner. Roy, which is the boy here, has a special Pokeball, and he chooses Fuecoco. There are some other characters that they show off, including the boy who's riding this Charizard up here, and this Pikachu. There's an airship. It looks like it's going to be fun no matter what happens. I'm excited to see it. Next, let's talk about Pokemon Go. They talked a little bit about the different Go Fests that are happening this year. There's one in Japan, there's one in Europe, and then the one in New York is happening this coming weekend. For those of us who can't attend in person, there is a global Go Fest, which will happen at the end of August. It's $15 to pay for that ticket to unlock the special research, and can be completed from anywhere, and will most likely have rotating biomes of special Pokemon like last year's did. During this Go Fest, 2 Pokemon will be making their debut. Mega Rayquaza will be appearing in raids, and you're going to need a lot of Mega Candy to Mega Evolve Rayquaza, more than usual. This Pokemon will also have to know the special move Dragon Ascent, which I assume the Mega Raid ones will have, so you have to get a Mega Raid Rayquaza to Mega Evolve it. Deontay is going to be the mythical Pokemon that's revealed in this year's Go Fest, and we're going to be able to Mega Evolve Deontay as well. So Deontay will most likely be coming from the special research, and then Rayquaza is going to be in raids. They also announced that the Scarlet and Violet starters will be premiering in Pokemon Go starting in September, so there will be Pokemon from Gen 1 through Gen 9 in Pokemon Go as of September. Pretty exciting. They also talked about a lot of other Pokemon games, so all the other small side games that are not the mainline ones, so let's talk about those next. First up is Pokemon Unite. Currently, there's a Mewtwo event going on in Unite to celebrate the 2nd anniversary of Unite's release. Mega Mewtwo X and Mega Mewtwo Y are going to be available as partners. There's also a new battle map where you can defend Tinkaton from wild Pokemon, so basically it's like a tower defense version of the game. Sounds like a lot of fun. In Pokemon Masters EX, 2 new sync pairs are coming, first being Nemona and Pawmot, and then also Victor and Spectrier. They are going to be the first 2 new sync pairs that have the new Sprint and Field Style for their sync pair. So they're going to be adding some new mechanics to the game, which is going to change up how it works. So that's going to be exciting to see how this new Sprint style and the new Field Style work within the game and what they can do compared to other stink pairs in the game. In Pokemon Cafe Remix, Tatsugiri are going to be coming, and you can add one of the Tatsugiri styles to your team, so you have to pick which of the 3 Tatsugiris will join your cafe. They also talked about how there are certain summer skins available for certain Pokemon, like Vaporeon, and I believe Corsola was the other one that has a summer skin. They also talked about how 2 new Pokemon will be, two new Pokemon games, they're not new, they're old. 2 old Pokemon games will be coming to the Nintendo Switch Online. Pokemon Stadium 2 is, as of right now, live on the Nintendo Switch Online N64, and I will definitely be playing some of that, so no worries there. And then Pokemon Trading Card Game is also live on the Game Boy for Nintendo Switch Online. I'll be playing that as well, so yeah, don't worry, you're going to see some footage of that on the channel. Very excited to play these games. They also made an announcement for Pokemon Sleep. It's going to have its first in-game event on the full moon coming up, and it's going to increase the drowsy power for your Snorlax. This is going to be called a good sleep day. So it's basically a way for your drowsy power to increase so you can get different Pokemon to show up, which is pretty cool. So if you're playing Pokemon Sleep, a great opportunity to fill out your sleep decks in Pokemon Sleep. I've been playing it. I've enjoyed it so far. Haven't found a shiny Pokemon yet, though, like some people have been finding. So, hoping my luck changes. Now let's move on to the meat of the presents, the Scarlet and Violet's portion. The first thing they talked about is a special anime that will be released on YouTube, showing the adventures of some Paldean students at the academy. This is going to be called Paldean Wins. It looks like it's got a really nice animation. They went to a different studio to make this, obviously, so like the style's different, a little bit more adult looking. Looks like it's going to be a good time. The next thing they announced is the Mew and Mewtwo event coming to Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. In this event, you'll be able to get both Mew and Mewtwo, and Mewtwo will be the next Mightiest Mark raid. So after Rillaboom is done this weekend, Mewtwo will be the next Mightiest Mark. So instead of having various forms, it looks like they're going to be moving from starters to legendaries in the Mightiest Mark raids. You may get Mew through mystery code right now, and the code is Get Your Mew. They said each Mew will be different. They'll have different Terra types and different move sets. So obviously some of the Mews are going to be the same, but when you play the game, you're going to be getting a different Mew each time you redeem. So that's pretty cool. That is going to be going until September 18th, I believe. So you have a long time to get your Mew. So if you don't get it today, not a problem. You can get it later. The Mewtwo raid itself will happen from September 1st to September 17th, and it'll be the entire time. So you'll have 18 days, basically 3 weeks, to get this Mewtwo. There will be 2 raid events happening in the weekends prior to this, so the last 2 weekends of August. There will be raid events for Pokemon that will help you prepare for this. So hopefully there'll be Pokemon that are going to be useful against the Mewtwo in this raid. No word on what those Pokemon are yet. They just said that there will be helpful raid events prior. So kind of like those first couple Mightiest Mark raids where they had Pokemon that you could catch alongside that could be helpful against that Pokemon, they're going to be doing that for Mewtwo. Let's talk about the first part of the DLC, which is the Teal Mask. They revealed the location of where the Teal Mask is going to be taking place, which is the Kitakami region. This is based off of a small area of Japan, kind of near Kanto and Johto. So this is in Japan again, basically. It's going to be a joint school trip between your school and Blueberry Academy, which is cool. That's going to be the place where the second part of the DLC comes out. And you're going to meet 2 trainers, Carmine and Kieran, who are siblings from Blueberry Academy. They talked a little bit about Monkey Dory, Pheasantipity, and Okidogi, which are now called the Loyal Trio. So they've given themselves a name, and it talks about how they saved the area from an ogre in the past. So this is going to be related to the story of this DLC. The masked ogre Pokemon is Ogerpon, which they introduced us to earlier, and based on the video, it looks like it might have a unique terraform, where when it terastallizes, the mask terastallizes, becomes really big like this. So this will be the first unique terraform that we've seen in the games if comes to pass, which is pretty exciting. They also introduced a new applin evolution. Apparently, the region of Kitakami is known for growing apples, and so this applin is called Diplin, and it's based on dipped apple, so it's like a caramel apple, and it looks like it's going to have a new move based on that. So it's going to have some sort of like caramel apple spray move, which is pretty cool. Then one of the siblings is going to have this Pokemon in the DLC. There's also going to be a mini game available in this region, which is going to be called Ogre Ousting. Basically, you ride Miraidon or Koraidon, and you run into these little balloons, and you pop them. And if you get high scores, or if you just do well, you get Mochi, which is going to be a new item that are going to be kind of like the health feathers that can boost EVs. Importantly, they're also going to be the Fresh Start Mochi, which you can see at the bottom of the list in the second picture. That Mochi is going to be rare, and it'll reset your Pokemon's EVs. So you can now easily reset without having to use those berries. So you can EV train from the beginning. Very nice, very helpful. They're also going to give you a selfie stick, so you can actually take better selfies with your camera, so you can get those really cool pictures for your profile. There's also a new character named Perrin, who's a photographer, and she's trying to take a picture of a certain Pokemon. You can help her with that, so it's kind of like a Pokemon Snap element within the game where you can help her find certain Pokemon and take pictures of them. Seems like a fun addition. After this part of the DLC comes out, which, surprise, it's happening in September, there will be a special event where Clefairy will have an increased chance of outbreaks. When they showed off the first section, your character is standing with a Clefairy. So it seems like Clefairy might be an important Pokemon in this region as well. So something exciting here. There's going to be an event at the end of September for Clefairy. Moving on to the Indigo Disc, this is going to take place at the Blueberry Academy, which they've shown off in other trailers. You're going to be invited to be an exchange student at the Academy by its director, and the Academy is in the water and mostly under the sea. This has led some people to think that potentially this is near Unova, because people are trying to connect Scarlet and Violet to both Johto and Unova, because that's where they think the next games are going to be related. We don't have any proof of that, but they're saying that this might be in Unova, so that's something you could take with a grain of salt. That's what people are talking about on the internet. The Blueberry Academy has new classes and adventures. There will be new characters to meet and interact with. These are the two twins you meet at the first DLC. They're going to be back at the school, obviously, when you're there as an exchange student. The Blueberry Academy has a terrarium, which is an underwater Pokemon paradise that has 4 unique biomes. They have the subtropical savanna, which you're going to see Pokemon like Pyroar, stuff like that. A coastal lush area, which is going to be more like a water area. You can see it on the right of the picture over here. It looks like kind of like a tropical island. The canyon region, which is rough and rugged. That's the one on the left. So you're thinking like rock Pokemon, stuff like that. And then the polar region, which is up in the northern part, which is supposed to be freezing. That's where you're going to find like Beldum, Metang, and ice Pokemon. The school also hosts the BB League, which is its own little league within Elite Four, and they introduced the 4 members of that Elite Four in the video. You have to complete challenges before you can defeat or fight the Elite Four members, and there might be other trainers you have to fight in this as well, but these are the 4 big ones. The 4 characters are Lacey, Crispin, Amaris, and Drayton. Lacey looks like she's probably a psychic trainer based on her dress, but we're not entirely sure. Crispin is definitely looking like a fire type guy. Amaris is an ice type trainer based off her outfit, and then Drayton is a dragon type trainer. The school also has a league club, which is this cool like locker room sort of area. And you can redecorate it, so you can change the color of like the stuff, and just you can redecorate it. You can also interact with trainers here, and you can invite the gym leaders from Paldea to visit the league room, and then you can rebattle them, hopefully with updated teams. So it's gonna be really cool, a little area where you can interact with trainers and also, you know, decorate. It's giving some Gen 2 vibes, Gen 3 vibes. They also introduced a new Duraludon evolution. Duraludon will evolve into Archaludon in this DLC, and Drayton is going to have this Pokemon. It kind of looks like a bridge, so that might be the inspiration of it. It's like an arched bridge, right? Because London. They also alluded to the story that's going to take place at Area Zero, but they didn't really elaborate on it at all. They did show these like sketch pictures, however. This is just the three that I screen capped, but they're about the original explorers of the Paldean Crater. So I assume that the storyline involving Terapagos, the turtle Pokemon, will deal with these original explorers. Speaking of Area Zero, they also revealed two new Paradox Pokemon, Raging Bolt and Iron Crown. Raging Bolt is going to be a Raikou Paradox. It looks kind of like a Brontosaurus with a big long neck, which is pretty cool. And then there's Iron Crown, which is the mechanical Cobalion. They did not reveal an Entei Paradox or a Terrakion Paradox, making me feel like potentially there might be more DLC or just some other way those Pokemon will be introduced, and they haven't introduced them yet. It also made me think about how the three legendary beasts are usually associated with Ho-Oh. So there's a possibility that Ho-Oh and Keldeo, the fourth Night Pokemon, will also potentially get Paradox Pokemon in this game, opening the way for potentially, right, more DLC or just stuff they haven't revealed yet. Something to think about. Finally, they did reveal that Terapagos has two forms, which we kind of already knew. There's this tiny turtle form, which is called normal form, and then this form is called terastal form, where it's got all the different terastal marks on it. So that's interesting. Finally, they did reveal the release date for the DLC, at least the first part, will be releasing September 13th of 2023. That's a Wednesday. The second DLC has not been officially announced as a date. They did say winter 2023, so we're going to have to think November, December. Based on Pokemon's usual release schedule, November is probably the time when this one will come out, but it could be December. We'll see. Thank you guys so much for watching this video with all the cool information about Pokemon. If you want to stay updated, subscribe. I release these videos whenever big chunks of information are released, so you can stay up to date. We'll see you next time. Some more information is released, and until then, keep training, trainers. We love to see you out there. Bye.